Cosmic Awakening, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. By Makāula Nakae. May 2nd, 1991, Cusco 3. Episode 25, The Final Day in Cusco. Half of the group went rafting down the Urubamba River, with Carlos and his friends, while Tadashi Saki and the others set out for sacred sites around Cusco, guided by the local shaman Narciso from the night before. After everyone had left, I was sunbathing in the courtyard when Hoshina and Edward came over. Following a brief chat with them, I headed out to visit the cathedral alongside several women from the tour. The cathedral possessed an unbelievably high ceiling and was built upon the ruins of an Inca Viracocha temple. Inside the magnificent Baroque-style church, which took a century to complete, stood a central altar constructed using 300 tons of silver, alongside intricately carved wooden altars and roughly 400 religious paintings. A profound, hushed solemnity hung over the expansive interior, with only the sound of our footsteps echoing through the dim chambers. Numerous grand altars lined the room, and I couldn't help marveling at the lifelike realism of the statues standing upon them. The figures of Christ and clergymen with blood streaming from their brows possessed gazes that felt almost entirely alive. Candlelight flickered in candelabras here and there, and an elderly woman knelt on the floor before the altars, offering up prayers to the burning flame. What on earth she was wishing for from Christ was something I could never possibly know. Returning to the altar near the entrance, I found a statue of Christ carrying his cross, surrounded and illuminated by the glow of a golden altar. When I looked up, Christ's face did not wear a look of suffering. Instead, he gazed out into space with a gentle, loving expression. Leaving the cathedral, we walked through the city to shop, enjoying a light lunch at a cafe in the Plaza de Armas. Back at the hotel, the men who had returned from the Urubamba River rafting trip were drying their soaked clothes while recounting their thrilling experience with undiminished excitement. Tadashi and the others, who returned just past noon, also shared tales of their mystical experience at a sacred cave called the Mother's Temple on the outskirts of Cusco, which they had visited with Narciso. Spending the time until near dusk sharing our respective experiences, we eventually set out on a serious shopping tour. The women entered a gold and silver smithing shop, struggling through negotiations. Meanwhile, Sandy, with whom I had gone to the pizza place the night before, and I headed to a record shop next door, browsing the cover designs of local folklore cassette tapes and purchasing one with a design we liked. Naturally, not a single local artist group had released a CD at that time. Wandering aimlessly around the Plaza de Armas with her, we bumped into a couple from the same tour at a cafe where we stopped for tea. They ended up getting married after returning to Japan. Before long, the streets began to be dyed red by the setting sun, gradually growing darker. As the two of us walked back along the Inca cobblestones toward the hotel, we spotted a star shining with exceptional brilliance in the night sky. "I wonder if that's a UFO too?" I murmured, recalling the UFO we had seen in Urubamba. Leaning against the stone wall of a white avenue, an indigenous folk musician strumming a harp-like instrument plucked out a strange melancholic melody. Orange cocktail lighting began to illuminate the stone walls, and we walked step by step through the twilight veil of a foreign night, resonating with that mysterious tone. I felt that once we crossed this long stretch of cobblestones, it would mark the dividing line between this magical city and the ordinary world. Walking beside her with few words, the distant glow of a small shop window awaited us up ahead. In the evening sky stretching across the rooftops of the hotel, the UFO-like star we had spotted moments earlier sparkled like a diamond in 7 colors. The final night in Cusco culminated in a farewell party bringing everyone together. "My heart tells me right now that I don't want to leave this place," Edward began in his opening remarks, echoing a sentiment shared by every single one of us. Soon food was served at the respective tables, the hotel's resident musicians began playing folk music, and dancers performed traditional Peruvian dances. Vividly colored costumes, woven with primary colored Inca patterns in red, blue, and purple swayed with their movements. Afterwards, Carlos and Alex, who had served as our guides for so long, performed folk music alongside their friends. As the party drew to a close, everyone was hugging in the lobby, sharing memories of Peru. And then, to savor our very last night in this country, we headed back out into the city of Cusco. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archived Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.